In today's class, I'll be showing you how to migrate WordPress from a local server to a live server. Alright, so if you remember, we've been building on a local server when you use the URL structure localhost / my first website. Okay, and now we want to move to a live website, just like www.google.com, assuming we have our own domain. So now this, the last class I showed you how to actually, and I showed us how to install WordPress easily on a live server. Okay, so now we're talking about a situation where you have WordPress on a local server. You've done all the work on the local server. Now you need to migrate it just the way it is to work on a live server functionally. Okay, so here is what we need to do. Okay, the first thing you need to do is you need to back up your WordPress file that is on your local system. Okay, remember you're working on the local server and all your files are available on your system. So we are going to access the files now. So what we need to do, just open any of these folders around here. Okay, so go to your local disk. Okay, then we'll go to the XAMPP directory where our XAMPP works from basically. Okay, so now go to htdocs. Okay, so this is where all our files are usually stored, and if you remember, it's stored website by website. You see my first website, you can see each folder represents a website. Okay, so just open my first website. So you can see this is all our WordPress files. Okay, any site that looks at WordPress, you look at it has this WP admin, WP content, WP includes. So that is just what a WordPress website looks like. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to save this site. We need to back it up. We need to make sure it's uploadable. Okay, so what we need to do is let's try to reduce the size of this thing first. Okay, so we'll just remove some unnecessary plugins. Okay, so I'm just trying to reduce the size. So if you have a website like that, you should remove some of the things you are not using, especially plugins. Okay, so I'm going back. I went to WP content and I went to plugins. So this is where all the plugins on WordPress are stored. Okay, so I'm just removing some things that are not really necessary for now, that I'm not using, and I can always reinstall them back when I upload this site on a live server. Okay, so I'm trying to make the site as small as possible. So let me remove this estimate, not necessary. Let me remove this one. Let me remove this as well. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. I could basically remove everything because I can just reinstall them, but let me leave these two since they are quite more important. So I'm just going to delete these guys for now. You don't have to delete them on your system, you can move everything, but for me I just need to save space and save data. So I'm just going to remove those guys. So once you see it's about 44 MB, that's a lot right now. So now I can go back. Let me check the themes if they are okay. Which of the themes am I not using? This is the current theme I used. Okay, so when you check your WordPress, you will see that your theme, the theme folder for the theme you installed, will be showing up here as well. So this is the theme I'm using, Astra. So I'm going to leave that, and I'm just going to delete the other themes. I'm not using them, so let me just delete them to save space. Right, so I'm deleting those. So now the file should be a little bit smaller now, and I'll be ready to copy these files. Okay, so now I'm just going to go back. Now this, okay, let me just come here, htdocs. So now this is my website folder. Okay, and it's still a whopping 64.5 MB. I don't really know what is taking space here. Let me check. You can leave it on your own, but I'm just not a fan of taking so much space like that. I don't know what, I've not built anything yet, and you know, so much space is already taken. And that's one thing about WordPress for you. What is taking space here? Okay, let me refresh. Still not giving me details. Okay, let's use it like this. So now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to compress this folder. Okay, so I'm just going to compress this folder so I will be able to upload it on the live server. So let's go compress it. If you have, I think I asked you, I told you guys to install WinRAR at some point the other time. So if you installed WinRAR, you should be able to get on with this step. So just right click and click on add to archive. Okay, then the next thing you need to do, choose zip, select zip, make sure it's zip, because I think the server won't let you upload RAR. So make sure it's zip zip. Now choose the compression method. Let's choose the best and nothing else. Just click on OK. So we are trying to compress the file, so we are going to upload it to the server. So it's compressing now. So after this, that means we've been able to bundle up the WordPress file. Okay, so that is just the file we're going to be uploading on the server for WordPress. Okay, so let's wait for that to finish up. Okay, so that is done and compressed, and it has even compressed to about 19 MB. All right, so now we have this. Okay, let's minimize this window for now. Let's keep this somewhere. The next thing we need to do is we need to get the database. Okay, when migrating WordPress, you migrate the files and you migrate the database. Okay, so now how do we get the database? Then if you remember where the database is located, it's located in phpMyAdmin. Okay, so we need to go into phpMyAdmin to locate the database. So just switch, open a new tab, and let's type in localhost /phpMyAdmin. Okay, press enter. So the goal now is to export the database. Okay, so once we get the database, we have the two things we need to migrate to a live server. Okay, now if you remember, what is the name of our database? My first database. So you need to remember the database you created the other time. So click on your database. Mine is my first database. Now this is, you can see this is the database. These are the database tables. Okay, so now what we need to do, just come to export here, export, click on export. Now just come over here, click quick. Okay, nothing else, just click on quick, format SQL, leave those the way they are, and click go. So now the database will begin to download instantly. So if you check your downloads bar, you can see it here, my database has downloaded. Okay, so I have that downloaded. So let me just copy this database to where my WordPress installation, my WordPress files are. So this is the database. So I'm just going to copy that, or let me just cut it, and I'll come over here to my htdocs and I'll paste it here. Okay, so my first website, my first database. So I have these two. So these two guys are just what I need to migrate now. Okay, so now for the next step, what you need, I will assume at this point you've gotten your web hosting, okay, and your domain, and everything is set up, just waiting to, you know, be waiting to receive files or waiting to to actually for you to build something on it. Okay, so I have login details for a website I want to use. Okay, so you can try this if you have any available hosting you want to use. So I have this for my own, just for the purpose of this class. So if you don't have a hosting for now, it's fine, and if you do, please make sure you practice this. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to log into the cPanel for this website. Okay, so the cPanel has some kind of dynamic URL, so I'm just going to log in. I'm going to say TL search. So that's just the cPanel for that particular website. Okay, so and these are the details I'm going to be using. Okay, so next thing, now I'm going to get into the cPanel area. Okay, then I'll take the username over here, copy that, come here, paste. Okay, when you purchase your hosting, you also get these details, so that's just the way you are going to use them. So let me get the password. 1 2 3 4 5. Do not use my password, please. Anyway, I'm going to change it after this tutorial. All right, so the paste. So once we have that, the next thing we just need to do is to log in. Okay, so we click on the login button, and that should take us into the cPanel area for this website. Okay, so this is the name of this website, leusworks.com. You will see it in your cPanel as well, and this is the cPanel area. Okay, so now what we have to do, let me wait for this to load so I can just open it up, or better still, I'm just going to copy that. So I'll copy, then open a new tab and paste. Okay, so when you purchase a new domain and a web hosting, and then you visit the website, this is just what you will see. And you are seeing this because there is nothing on this website. There's nothing on the server, nothing, absolutely nothing. So this is why you are seeing this index page. So until you begin to start adding files and all of that before you see things on it, let me just create a random page with HTML. Okay, you don't have to know what it's all about. I'm just going to use it to show you what this server works like. So I'm just going to click here on the file manager. Oh, it's asking me to log in again. Are you serious? Did I say that? Okay, let me log in again. Okay, then I'll enter the password. Okay, then I log in. Wow, that is strange. Okay, I think I will need to use my VPN for this. Let me close this. It's having an IP issue, so I'm just going to use my VPN. Okay, and I think you also have good use for VPNs because it will help you to be able to access websites you can't even access naturally. So I use Opera Mini a lot. That's Opera Mini, not Opera Mini, sorry, Opera browser for desktop. I use it a lot because it comes with a lot of packed features just like this VPN, and it's free. Okay, so that's why I even use this Opera Mini. So I'm just going to activate my VPN. The website is having issues with me. It's because of my internet and all of that, but I don't think you are going to have this issue, so you don't have to worry about this. I'm the only one basically that faces this issue right now. Okay, so let's just refresh this. So it's going to reload, and then I will log in again, so we'll have access into the cPanel area. Okay, so I'll take my username, then I'll take my password. and then I'll log in. Okay, so let me save that. So like I said, when you visit this website, this is what you will see. So let me just create a quick index HTML file just to show you how this server responds and reacts, and displays pages. Okay, so I'm just going to create a quick HTML file. If you've been messing around with web design for a while, you're going to be very familiar with this. It won't mean anything to you. So let me just create index.html, create this new file. Then I'm going to edit this file and just put in a very simple HTML code. Okay, just to show you how this server works. Okay, h1, that's heading, and I'll say hello world. Okay, and I'll save. Now by the time I come back here and I refresh this, you are going to get this. You can see. So basically that is the simplest form of a website you can find, like the very simplest form of a website you can find. And that is what I just did here, just to show you how this server works and processes, information that is uploaded on it. Okay, so you can see now that I have something, the server has something to display. So by the time we are going to migrate our WordPress website onto this server, you are going to see it in action. Okay, so let me take this out. I'm going to delete this. I don't need it. Okay, so I will delete that. Now we need to bring in our WordPress files. So now this is back. Now let's come here, come over to upload, click on upload. Now select file, then you go to where you saved your WordPress file. Okay, so let's go to local disk, XAMPP, then htdocs. My first website, remember this is the folder, and we compressed it, so we need to take the compressed version, not the folder. Okay, so these are the two guys we need, my first database and my first website. Okay, do not take the database here, take this, the zip folder, my first website, and then click on open. So once you do that, the upload will begin immediately. So you can see your WordPress files are uploading now. So we'll give it some time to upload. Okay, so the upload is done now. So let's cancel this. Now we need to reload this page. So click on reload. Okay, so this is the folder we just uploaded, the zip file we just uploaded. So now right click and then extract. Okay, we remember we compressed the file on our system, so now we need to extract it here. So you see, this live server is just like a system. It's just like a system, but a system that is online. Okay, so that's just the way it is. It's more like an online system. Most of the things you can do on your normal system, you can actually do it here. That's why you are also able to host a website on your system using a a local host server. So let's extract this software, and then just click on extract files. Okay, so the extraction is done. So click on close and let's reload. So now we want this website to show up on this the main domain here. If we leave it inside this folder and we reload this site, that means we want this website to show on layusworks.com/my first website. So that's just the way this is. So it's applicable like this. This just simply means a folder. This is the folder, and this simply means it's a folder. So if you leave it in this folder, that means you want it to load inside this, like this. But if you take it out of the folder and you pour it out here, that means it's going to load here directly, just like this. Okay, so let's take it out of the folder. So double click to open this folder, then select all here, just come here, select all, then move. So click on move. Now we want to move it to the public HTML directory, the root directory of this server. So just take this folder name, clean it out. Okay, now once you do that, click on move files. So that is going to move everything out of my first website. So let's go back. So just click on this up one level. Okay, so now we don't have use for this folder anymore. My first website, the folder is basically empty right now, so we can delete it just to make everything organized. So delete. So if you check the site now, let's try to load it. You will see something, error establishing a database connection. This is because we have not imported our database. Remember, we brought out two things. We made a zip file for our WordPress files, and then we exported the database. Now we are yet to add this database to this server, and we are yet to connect that database to the WordPress files. So now what we need to do is come back to this cPanel area. Okay, so this is the cPanel area. Come back, scroll down somewhere to the bottom until you see databases. Okay, so you can see database. So click on my SQL database. Okay, so we want to create a new database on this server, and then once we do that, we are going to import the database into this database and then link it with our WordPress. So let's create a new database on this server. Okay, if you remember, if you watch one of our first videos, we created a database on localhost. Now when you compare that and you compare this, you will see that it's actually about the same process of creating database, but it's much more easier creating the database here. So it's about the same process. So if you did that, you're also going to understand what is happening here. Okay, so let's create a new database. Let's just call this one DB. Okay, so this is just what the database is, the full database. This is it, p_db. So everything has to be joined together. Okay, so click on create database. Once that is done, click on go back. Now scroll down. We need to create a user for this database. So I'm very sure you are familiar with this because we did it in our for one of our first classes. So we want to create a user for this database right now. So click on click here. Okay, let's erase that. Now let me just use user. Remember, you can use anything for this database name or username. You can use basically anything. Okay, but just use something you are sure you can remember. For me, I just use DB and user for learning purposes. Okay, so you can keep using DB and user until you get very familiar with creating databases and database users, and then you can be very flexible with whatever you are using to create your database and the user. Okay, so I'm going to call this user, and I'm just going to assign a password to it. You can use any password as well. So I'm going to give it a password. So make sure, the thing is to make sure you remember what you used to create the database and the user. Like I did in the first step, I separated everything, I put it in a notepad somewhere, so then we now picked out the values. So make sure you do that, so you don't have to lose information or forget what you actually used. Okay, so now once you do that, we've added the user and the password. So what we just need to do is to create the user. Okay, so click on create user. All right, so the user has been created. So let's go back, and then the last thing we need to do here is we need to give this user full permission to use this database we just created. We did it the other time too, but this time we are doing it from a live server interface. We are not doing it from a local server interface anymore. Okay, so scroll somewhere down and then click you see add user to database. So add this user, which is currently the only user on this database, and database, which is also currently the only database on this server. So just click on user and click on the database and click on add. So it's going to bring out the permissions we are going to be adding to this user. Okay, so just select all privileges. Okay, so as you do that, scroll down to the bottom and click on make changes. So that's done. The privileges has been added to this user, so this user has full power to use that database. So let's go back, let's click on cPanel here. So we still have this, which means we are not done yet. So we still need to link this, we need to import the database and then link it to WordPress. Okay, so now come here, cPanel main. Now next thing we need to do is we need to open up PHP my admin. Okay, if you remember our local host, we have a PHP my admin as well. This is it. And we also have a PHP my admin interface on the live server. So just click on PHP my admin. So that is going to load into the PHP my admin page. Okay, so you can see it's just the same interface. The only difference is we are on a live server right now. It's the same interface. Okay, so click on the database we just created. Look at the database we just created here. So just click on it. Now we need to import this database. Okay, so come over here, click on imports. Okay, now here is where the happens and the happening and the happen and everything, and all the magic will happen. Okay, so just come here and click on choose file. Remember we exported the database the other time and a file was downloaded, so now we need to import this file here. Okay, it's just an export and import thing. Export from your local host, import into your live server. Okay, so just come here, click on choose file, then let's go scroll down. You can see the file we exported here. So this is the file here. So just click on the file and then click on open. So the file ends with an SQL extension. Okay, it's a database file, so most database files end with .sql. okay, so that is the database file for this website. SQL means structured query language. Okay, so it's a query language database, picking database queries. Okay, so let's click on that and click on open. All right, so now the next thing we need to do is just scroll down. Once you've added that, just scroll down, ignore the others, you don't really need to touch them. Okay, I'll just click on go. So that will take about 5 seconds. Because it's uploading a file in the background, which is the database. Okay, so the database has been imported, and you can see it says import has been successfully finished. 128 queries executed. Okay, so now what is the next thing we need to do? First, if you remember, we are coming from a local environment. Okay, we are coming from localhost / my first website, and we are moving to this website. Okay, so we need to change that. Okay, because we still have this address inside the database, so we need to change this address inside the database. So back to PHP my admin, scroll down through the rows here, look at the tables. Now look for WP underscore options. Okay, so look at it here, just click on that. Once you click on that, you will see the website. Look at the website name here, site URL and home. So you can see, look at it, 1 and 2. So we need to change these two to the current website you'll be using. It also applies to any other migration you'll be doing. When you migrate, you have to change this local host to the name of the current website. Okay, so let's copy this website and click on copy, then go back to phpMyAdmin. When you get to this table, just move your mouse over here and then double click. Make sure you double click so it will open that column. So double click, select everything, clear it, and then paste the new website. And you might have to make this HTTPS, so that's a more secured form for this website. So just make it HTTPS / the name of the website. Let me copy this. Once you are done, press enter. Okay, so this place you have to be very careful what you click, because if you click some of these things, the table is going to rearrange, and by the time it rearranges, it will be very hard for you to locate these things the way they are arranged. Okay, because WordPress has already arranged it in the best way for you. So if you click on any of these guys, it will be very hard to find the things you are looking for. So make sure you don't click on anything anyhow. Okay, make sure just leave them the way they are, or you should just change the values you need to change. So let's change the second one as well to this, the exact name of this website as well. So double click on that and then select all, or highlight everything, or use Ctrl A and then paste the address again, and once you are done, press enter. Okay, the third table here is the name of the website. Okay, so let me just, you can always change that inside WordPress, but this is also another way to change it, because this is also where WordPress is getting the name from, because it's, of course, this is the database. This is where WordPress gets all the information about this website. So let me call this Laos Works. Okay, once you are done, press enter. So at this point, I don't think we need to change any other thing. The next thing we need to change is I think our username, password. Let me just check that. I don't think we need to change that. So come over to WP users here, click on it. So let's see what we can change. Okay, come here, click on edit. We need to edit this table. Okay, so here with the first thing we have admin, that's the username for the user login to log into the admin panel. I don't think we need to change that, so we can leave that. The password, this is not the password, this is an encrypted form of the password. Okay, so this is what WordPress does. It's just going to encrypt the password immediately it's changed, but even if you type in the password you use, it's going to work. Okay, but what you are seeing here is an encrypted version of the password. So no matter the password you use, WordPress will encrypt that password. Okay, so now let's assume you want to change this password. Let me just teach you how to change this. Not many people know this. Okay, many people, even people who claim to be WordPress developers, they still have to go through forget password or adding emails just to change the password of a WordPress installation. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to change it here, and it's very easy, and you don't need any email verification or anything. So just in case you forget your WordPress password and it looks like there is no hope of getting that password back, what you are going to do here is just the best solution. Okay, it's something that even some people come to meet me and I will just charge them 10,000, and I just come here and do whatever I want to do, and I will just tell them, wow, it's done. So yeah, what we need to do, let's assume you want to change this password. Okay, so just take your new password, know the new password you want to take. Now what you just need to do is, if you look at this is user login, this is admin, this is user underscore pass, and this is the encrypted password. All right, so now what you need to do is just highlight this, delete everything. Now I'm just going to assume my new password is password. Okay, this is my new password. If you enter this and then you click on this go here, I'm sorry, it's not going to work, because you know why? This needs to be encrypted. This field needs to be encrypted. So what you just need to do is, once you type in this password, come here, click on this. So now you need to create an encryption value, you need to choose an encryption value for WordPress to encrypt that password as. So you see function here. So okay, just come here, then scroll down until you see MD5. Okay, so that is the encryption WordPress uses to encrypt passwords and make them secure. So once you type in the password here, come here, click on MD5. Okay, so this is only necessary if you want to change the password. All right, if you are migrating and you don't have any need to change the password, you don't have to touch it. Your password will remain your password. The same password you used on localhost is going to remain your password. So just come here, click on MD5, and that is all. Once you do that, just click on go. So note, we are going to use this password to log in. So you can see, if you check this again, let's go back into the place. You see that the password has been encrypted back. You can see, basically this means password, but it's an encrypted form of password. If I want to change this again, I just have to remove this, type in my new password, come here, click on MD5 and click on go. That is just the simple way to change the password for a WordPress installation. So this thing I've taught you, not many people know it, and as a newbie, if you are knowing that, you have a good edge. Congratulations. All right, so now let's proceed. So we are done with this, and I've shown you how to create the password, rename or change the password. So what we need to do, let's go back to the database. Let's refresh this page. It's not going to work yet because we've not connected it. We've only configured the database now. The database is configured and ready, but we have not connected this database to our WordPress file here. You know, we still have our WordPress file. We've not connected this database. So now what we need to do, come to your file manager here where the WordPress files are, click on wp config, this file, wp config, right click, click on edit, and then edit. It's going to open in a new tab. Okay, so now this is where we get to run the whole connection. We did this in our, I think we did it in our first class where we installed WordPress on localhost. Okay, so you can see the credentials we used before. The former credentials are still there. My first database, user, password. Look, you can see everything here. So now we need to replace all these values with what we have at the moment. So go back to your PHP my admin, use the current database name you have. This is the current database name, this. So copy that, come over here and replace it with what we have here currently. So database name, we need to replace this. So highlight that and replace. Make sure the two apostrophes are still at the top beside it there. So make sure they are still there. Just replace it inside. Now, do you remember the user we created? We did this and we called it, we called it DB and we called it user. So all you just need to do is type in that after the underscore. So come to user here, paste the same thing, just clean out DB and type in user. That is all. Then the password I used, I'm just going to type it out. So that's the password I used for this database. Okay, that's secure for me. So once you do that, you've been able to connect this database with the WordPress installation through the wp config file, this file. So let me go back. So once you do that, you can leave the rest. Just click on save changes. Okay, so changes saved. Let's see if our connection works. So come back here, layoutworks.com, and click on enter. You can see it's taking a while now. That means something actually works. So that's a good sign from the start, and you can see our website is live. Our website is live at the moment. So you can see we are live. This is the website name. This is it, the home, about us, contact us, blog. You can see all of that. You can see. So we are live. This is the localhost version. Here you can see it here, my second website. You can see the localhost. Look at the URL, about us, localhost, my first website. You can see everything is localhost, but here it's something else. It's layoutworks.com/about-us/contact us. So everything is live. We are currently, this website is currently on the internet, as you can see. Okay, so all you need to do, let's check the admin area. Let's see if it works. So just type in /wp admin, press enter. So if you see this, that means the admin works. So you can see the admin is working. Let's try the password we created that time. So admin and then just password. Let me make it visible so you can see. So this is the password you created the other time. Click on remember me and login. So if I forgot the password the other time, this is going to log me in straight. You can see it's loading the dashboard as shown, and we are logged in straight up. And save. Okay, so you can see everything looks the same, nothing has changed. Plugins are still there, everything. Let's check the plugins. So you see, remember we deleted some plugins, so you can see it's telling us has been deactivated and blah blah, but that doesn't matter to me right now because I really didn't need them, so I deleted them to save space. So that will clear up later. So you can see the plugins plugins are still there. You can see everything works fine. All right, so that is just how to migrate WordPress from a local server to a live working server. So I don't know how this class was for you, but to actually get everything here, you need constant practice. You need to actually practice this constantly to get the hang of it. Okay, it's not something you will get at one go. I don't even expect you to get it at one go. You need to try it for like 5 times, okay, to actually get used to it and how it works. Understand the concept of database users and database passwords, and editing the config file and importing the database, exporting. So you need to understand those concepts. So that is just that on importing a website from localhost to a live server. So I hope this class will help you, and I hope it will be helpful from now on. Thank you for participating in this class, and I'll see you next time.